For a lot of us working in tech, getting that high income feels like you've finally beaten the game, right? But what if I told you that it might just be masking a really critical bug in your own financial code? Well, today we're going to run a full diagnostic on that high income bug, the one that's quietly draining your net worth. We're talking about lifestyle inflation. So, let me ask you a question that really ought to keep you up at night. You got the promotion, your paycheck just doubled, you've leveled up your career, your title, everything. But when you actually look at the bottom line, what you own, the numbers just don't add up. It's a surprisingly common system error, and today we're going to debug it together.
So here's our game plan. We're going to treat this just like a proper bug report. First, we'll identify the symptom. Then, we'll do a root cause analysis to figure out what's really going on. After that, we assess the damage, deploy a patch, and finally, we'll define some new performance metrics for a much healthier system.
Okay, so every bug has a symptom, right? That little warning sign that tells you something is just off. For this particular bug, though, the alert isn't some loud, flashing alarm. No, it's that quiet, subtle little justification you tell yourself right before you click buy. It seems so harmless, doesn't it? I mean, you're working hard, you spend all day there, you deserve a better setup. The standing desk, the ultra-wide monitor, that perfect mechanical keyboard. Each one is a small, totally logical upgrade. But when you put them all together, they're the very first sign that your spending is scaling up right alongside your income. And that is where a really critical misunderstanding starts to creep in. Now, this is so important to get right. Think about it this way. Your high income, that's just throughput. It's the data flowing through your system every month. But your net worth, that's the system's total value. The goal isn't just to increase the flow, it's to use that flow to build a more valuable, more resilient system. And confusing your throughput with your system's value, that, my friends, is the absolute core of this bug. All right, let's dig into the root cause. If stagnant wealth is the symptom, we need to find the exact line of bad code that's making this whole application lag. And here it is. We're going to call it the invisible anchor. And it's an anchor because, look, no matter how powerful your income engine gets, this thing keeps you tethered to the exact same spot. And it's invisible because it just runs on autopilot. It's disguised as treating yourself or upgrading your lifestyle. It's that background process that's just eating up all your new resources before you can even think about allocating them effectively. And this, right here, is the key takeaway. More money doesn't automatically fix bad financial architecture. It just doesn't. Without a new mental model, a whole new operating system for your finances, you're just running the same old inefficient code on more expensive hardware. You get this illusion of progress, but you're not actually building anything new or more stable. So what's the real-world damage of this bug? Let's stop talking in abstractions for a second and actually run the numbers. Because the true cost isn't what you spend, it's what that spending prevents you from building. Okay, let's take that beautiful, high-end ergonomic chair. You know the one. For anyone spending 8 hours a day coding, it's a totally justifiable expense. $3,000, it feels like a one-time cost. But it isn't. Not even close. The real price tag, assuming a pretty standard 10% average market return over 20 years, is over $20,000. That's the opportunity cost. It's the future value you traded for comfort today. You see, every dollar you spend has a ghost, its future compounded self, and the invisible anchor makes you completely blind to that ghost. And this chart just lays it out so perfectly. You've got these two forces basically at war for your future. On one side, there's lifestyle creep. You're spending. It goes up, sure, but it's just linear growth. You add one expense, then another. But on the other side, you've got the absolute powerhouse of compounding interest. That is exponential growth. Every time you prioritize the linear path, you're actively sacrificing the exponential one. You're choosing addition when you could have multiplication. Think about this for a second. Let this number sink in. Based on standard market projections, deciding to start next year just because you want to enjoy this year's raise, well, that could cost you over $300,000 down the line. Delaying isn't free. Procrastination is the most expensive form of financial tech debt you can possibly take on. All right, we've identified the bug, we've quantified the damage, but it's not enough to just know the problem. We need a patch. So here it is, your clear, actionable deployment plan, broken down into 3 simple sprints. Okay, sprint 1. This is brute force. You audit your spending, and then you set up an aggressive automatic transfer to your investment accounts. I'm talking 30% or more of your gross income, and it has to happen the second your paycheck hits. You pay your future self first, no exceptions. Next, sprint 2. This is about being intentional. You're an engineer, so engineer your spending. Use a tool, a spreadsheet, whatever you need, but you assign every single dollar a job. No more mystery spending. And finally, sprint 3. This is how you scale. The next time you get a raise or a bonus, at least half of that new money immediately gets added to your automated investment rate. You refactor the system before lifestyle creep even gets a chance to detect the new income. So once the patch is deployed, we need new KPIs. You can't manage what you don't measure, right? It's time to throw out the old success metric, your salary, and install a brand new dashboard that focuses on what really, truly matters. I want you to think of this as your new performance review. Take a look at the buggy state on the left. Does that feel familiar? A reactive savings rate, sporadic investments, stagnant growth, mounting financial tech debt? Now look at the target state. Proactive, automated, compounding, and a systematic paydown of debt. This isn't just some vague goal. It is a clear, measurable definition of a high-performing financial system. So let this be your new mantra. Say it with me. The goal isn't just a high income. It's a high net worth. Your income is temporary. It's just a tool. Your net worth, that's the structure you actually build with that tool. Your job is to focus on building the structure. So, with this bug patched and your system running at peak efficiency, the final question isn't about what you can buy anymore. It's about what you can build. Freedom, options, security, impact. The choice is all yours.